Now, so this is a difficult topic because, a lot of people hear every day that they have to be themselves. And me personally, I've always believed that people, it's hard for people to be themselves. And not because they are lame, not because that, they're fake, but it's really because of something that I'm not going to say society, but like the way we have to live in life makes being yourself really hard. So I'm going to give an example that I always say. When people are at work, they always say that you're acting professional, acting professional. And then when you're home, you have to kind of code switch and be something different. Now, I always ask myself, why do I have to act differently than I normally would at work than I do with the people I love and trust, friends and family at home? Like, it's almost given the notion that the way you act with your friends and family is almost like animalistic. Like you can't be that way because you're absurd. So when you get to work, you kind of have to tame yourself. You kind of have to be something else there. And so a lot of the time we are training ourselves to be a very different than we typically would be. Now, I'll ask you, how many days is the work week? It's 7. How many hours is the work? Sorry, it's not 7. Ooh, it's 5. But how many hours during the day? It's 8. So you mean to tell me when you wake up every day, you have to spend 8 hours a day acting professional and not acting like how you would normally be? This means that we particularly train ourselves 5 days a week for 8 hours a day to be something else. And because we spend so much time acting professionally as opposed to acting like ourselves, we don't really remember how to be ourselves. You ever went home after work one day and wasn't able to turn it off? Like you kept your office voice with your loved ones or your family and your friends and your kids, or you start having strict rules like your manager with your time after work, and so you never really turn off. And then after a while, especially if you've been working for years and years and years, you forget who you are. You forget who you are. You actually don't know how to have fun because not everybody has a fun workplace. So you lose your sense of fun. You lose your lightness. You lose the things that you would typically just have for fun or do for fun in the day. And it's hard to get that back when you are not able to connect with that person anymore. Connect with yourself. So I always say that the fact that we have to act professional at work has trained us to tame our inner selves and to stop us from being ourselves. Why is that important? After a while, you feel like you've lost yourself. After a while, you identify with the work. Now, for some of you who don't know, I left my corporate job about 5 years ago, and now I'm heading into something completely different, which is acting. Acting, like acting. And I'll tell you this, I had a good ass job. I had a great job, friends. Unlike a lot of people, I loved my coworkers, but I knew that I needed to make a deeper connection with the things that I loved when I want to say when I was younger, but before I was programmed to always be in this work mode. Um, and I also, right, I also was fortunate that I always had that in mind when I was in corporate America. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I got into corporate America. Sorry about that. I got into corporate America, and I I actually started working at the company that I stay with for about 11 years, but I had no intention of really staying. Like when I got to that job, I was halfway in, halfway out, and thought it was like a quick few checks that I could get until I was ready to move on to my next thing. And because I had that mindset, and I'm not suggesting that you guys do the same thing that I did, I never really bought into the acting professional, changing who I am, sort of social construct. So what I did was I just was myself the whole time. And actually, that became very attractive, not only to my coworkers, but our clients. And we had big clients. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the points that I want to bring up today. We already talked about we're in the midst of why it's hard to talk about yourself. I'm gonna bring in the business angle, and then I'm gonna give you some acting tools that I've learned over the years that help you reconnect with your authentic self. And I know it sounds kind of weird to say things that you use in acting to connect with your authentic self, but I need you to stick with me now, because actors actually have to use real life authentic experiences to make you feel like their roles are believable on screen. And you can be quiet as well. So thank you. I'm going to actually remove you and block you. Okay. So, long story short, guys, I'm just trying to actually give you some tools that really help me in life. So if anybody in the comments is really going crazy and doing things that are destructive, I'm going to just block them, because really and truly, we all need to just be ourselves. And this is very important for our mental health going into the future. A lot of us aren't connected to ourselves, and we are getting into more of an emptier space. And we're now eating up artificial intelligence, and that is more in like fake things, really, that we are normalizing during our day, and it's going to bring us further and further from connecting with our own minds and our own thoughts. So just chill out. Anyway, so what I was saying is that me being my authentic self really helped me with my company and my clients. So when I say authentic, let me tell you something. The Trisha you see here is even a little bit more tamer than I was in corporate America. I literally had multicolored hair. I was blonde approaching platinum back in them days, because I just liked the color. I thought, well, hell, why not? Sure enough, as I climbed higher and higher my career, I don't know. I just was in the mindset that I had to be myself, and it made clients want me at their meetings. And we had big financial clients, we had big pharma clients, we had big we even had automotive clients, but it was important for them to have somebody authentic in the room, or they could look around and say, hey, this person is being themselves. Now, a lot of you are in a different space right now. You are not working for yourself like me. You are in corporate America, and there are things that you can do to connect with your authentic self that I want to give you as tools that it's gonna really help you. So, number one, what I want you to do is every night after work, I need you to come home, and if you're by yourself, great. If you can't get by yourself and you have a car, go sit in your car. But the one thing that I want you to do is turn on your camera, and I need you to tell yourself the truth for about 2 minutes in that day. What I mean is tape yourself talking about your real feelings, real thoughts in the day, real thoughts about yourself, what you hope and dream, but don't lie. When you end your 2 minutes, I want you to play it back to yourself. And the message that you give yourself in that video, you'll know what's a lie and what's not. And by the way, this is all to yourself. You're not supposed to give this video to anybody. But then I want you to delete the video, and every day for the next, I would say for the next month, you keep recording that video of yourself, talking to yourself until you are 100% truthful to you. If you can be 100% truthful to yourself, you're going to be truthful to other people. Why is this important if you are working? So most people buy from people when they feel like they trust them, and meaning they don't seem salesy, they don't seem fake, they're relating one-on-one to that person. And so if you're having trouble being yourself, it's hard for you to sell. Now, and selling is not just in sales. Selling would be to coworkers, to clients, customers. If you're in retail, you have to be trustworthy, and people can read whether or not you're telling the truth. It's just like acting. They can tell whether that person really, really felt that role or connected with that role, or that person is just reading lines. Don't be a person that people feel like they're just reading lines and they're just doing what they need to do to close a deal. You have to connect with them, and you can't connect with other people unless you could connect with yourself. So that tool that I gave you recently, you have to try it. Please try it. I'm going to leave you with that one tool, because other tools will come as I get deeper and deeper into acting conservatory. But that was the one tool that I thought was very useful when I started acting seriously. And I'm still working on myself, and I'm still working and using that tool, but I've seen people change dramatically, no pun intended, when using that tool. So go back, listen to what I said, tape yourself every day for 2 minutes by yourself, telling yourself the truth for 2 minutes. Play it back to yourself. And if you believe you, then you're connecting with your authentic self. If you know parts of that 2-minute video that you play back to yourself is fake, that you lied, that you're not truthful, you're going to read yourself, and you're going to be like, damn, I can't even be real to myself. Do it for about a month to 6 weeks. I swear, by the end of the 6 weeks, you're going to be more connected to yourself. And people are going to see the difference in how you present yourself to them. And they're going to want to relate to you. They're going to want to be around you. They want to work with you or do a deal with you, because they know you are truly being yourself. All right. That's it, guys. Peace out.